What's up, Libra gang? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. This will be your April monthly tarot reading. So Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs are all welcome into this reading. Of course, anyone's welcome to join. I just ask you come in with an open heart, an open mind, a desire to learn something or better yourself. And if the messages that come through don't resonate, feel free to push them aside. It might not be your message this time around, or it may make sense to you later on in the future. So again, just be open to that. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. We're going to start you off with an oracle card. I haven't done this for other people. I don't know. I went to go reach for a tarot deck and I just felt like I was meant to pull one of these. So we'll read from the book and see what it says. You got moving. Let's see. If I could only find it. Sorry. Motivation. I'm close. Memories. One more. Moving. Here we go. This card indicates that you are moving or just moved into a new home. This is a huge change affecting every part of your life. On one hand, it is a wonderful way to clear the energy and start anew. On the other hand, the upheaval can be very disruptive. This card acknowledges how much your current or impending move affects you. With this relocation, self-care becomes even more important. Take time to rest instead of rushing to get everything immediately completed. Keep up your normal routines of exercise and healthful eating. You need your strength and energy for this move and during the adjustment period as well. Self-care also includes exploring your new neighborhood and making new friends. Additional meanings to this card: changing your workplace, redecorating or remodeling, a second home or vacation, moving your body through new exercise programs, or an emotionally moving experience. I don't know. We'll see if that resonates for any of you out there. That may tie into our tarot reading. We shall see. Let's do some tarot for you. So because this is an April monthly, guys, I'll do both love and relationships, maybe some family stuff or friend dynamics, relationships in general. And then we'll also talk about career, money, finances, things of that sort, your job, any money that might be coming in for you this month or something to keep heads up for. All right, here we go for Libra. What wants to come out? Let's see if we can get some poppers. Oop. I see you mad and angry. Some conversation is like bubbling to the surface and it's like you tried to bite your tongue, but you're having trouble doing it. Yeah. You're communicating an ending or you're communicating to someone who really let you down. You're really upset. And I shouldn't laugh. It might be quite serious, but yeah, you seem to be, or you're thinking about cutting the cord. You're thinking about, what do you call that? Pulling the ripcord is what I'm seeing. I don't know what that is in terms of what this is in your life, but yeah, movement elsewhere. Some of you are finding a more spiritual path or looking to incorporate more spiritual elements into your lifestyle. And you do have a big card of movement, right? So for the Oracle card, the butterfly card that came up, Aries season is a wonderful time to take action, and you might be feeling agitated or challenged in a way that the universe is actually helping to orchestrate to get you up and to do something, to take a stance, to do something different, to put a final ending into something that it's just not suiting you anymore. Either you've outgrown it and I hate to be a bummer, but sometimes in life, this is just disappointment. It didn't work out. I put my time and energy into this and I'm feeling like this. I tend to look at the Ten of Swords as something that's like a long time coming. Versus the Tower, which can be like unexpected and shocking changes. I feel like people dread the Tower and the Ten of Swords. Again, totally dependent on what's next to them and the context of the reading. Generally speaking, I don't always look at the Ten of Swords as like a terrible card, but it's information, swords, informing us on something that's keeping us stuck, inhibiting our growth, or something that is mentally draining or straining that with a 10, it's like wrap it up. It's the ending of a cycle. So it's like, we got to do something different to either get rid of this or make it better or change something up. For you, it has to do with advocating, speaking your mind, speaking your truth, sticking up for yourself. Or for somebody else, possibly there's a fire sign involved here and you feel like you have to defend them. An Aries, Leo, Sag, it could be a parent-child dynamic. Someone's not getting their needs met or they're not getting adequate care or service for some of you. And then I always note too, I think this is really important. Like, yes, it's a dark card. It's black. There's, metaphorically swords sticking the guy into the ground. The planetary connotation to this, though, and I say planetary, in quotes, luminary, is the sun in Gemini, right? So the sun is what brings illumination and warmth and growth and, in theory, positivity, right? It encourages us to live our authentic truth, to express ourselves authentically, to be creative, to tap into our inner child. You're in a situation, though, where the sun, the light, is being suppressed by the dark. So we, with the Ten of Swords, we can look at it. What is this information telling us? Whatever or whoever is involved, it's saying this can't continue because it's suppressing the light. The light is trying to bust free and it can't in this situation. So this is a great card for fighting your way out of it, right? For kind of channeling this more Aries energy, which is in opposition to Libra, so that can be challenging, to separate, to be independent, to maybe be a little bit outspoken or blunt, which I know is making some of you just shake with fear or anticipation. But otherwise, if we don't have a nice balance to that Aries energy, we end up being like a doormat, or we end up in this sort of self-sacrificial role, even though we're not happy. It's not really what we want, but we have to think outside the box to fix this, to get our light back, right? To get your groove back. To me, and this is an Aries card, interestingly enough, but it's channeling that fire energy. So the confidence, the ability to move forward, to maybe take some risks, to take the road less traveled. Aries is like the warrior, the trailblazer. My Queen of Wands, though, is kind of like my fun, entertaining queen. She's work hard, play hard. So we got to get it all back, We got to get the lightness and the fun, but it is going to take, some work and some endurance and some energy to dig ourselves out of this hole or whatever it is. What is this Queen of Wands desiring? What does she want here? She wants a new start, a new opportunity. I'm getting this idea of you feel it in your belly. It's like that intuition or that not really impulse. That's not what I'm trying to say. Inspiration. You feel like something is on the horizon, but it's not quite physically tangible yet. It's not in front of you. Again, follow that scent, so to say. It's like you feel like there's something new coming in, and there is. But I almost think this is priority because you aren't in a place where you could receive anything new when you're feeling like Ten of Swords. Some of you are writing it could be like a declaration of independence. I don't know why that just struck me funny. That's not what I meant. I meant like a resignation notice, writing something, the pen, the thoughts, the ideas, the comments, the communications, indicating an ending or explaining why you have to go away or remove yourself from this energy or comment on an ending. For some of you, it's like you're being criticized, possibly in the media or in connection to something that happened at work, and you're being thrown into the fire to articulate what's going on. I don't know what this is, but I'm almost getting kind of like HR. We have all these layoffs or firings, and Libra's good with people. Have Libra explain what's going on, and you're not happy about it. Again, it's like you're being fed to the wolves here, and it's just you don't really see a way out of it. But you will, because this is this is a high vibe Libra card, the Queen of Swords. You have to explain this with clarity, with precision, and stick to your words. There might be people who are trying to twist your words or to get you to conform. I always get the idea of twisting your arm, trying to persuade you. There's someone in this scenario who's very persuasive. And I think this is saying you need to be protective of your energy because you know what's best for you. And so, yeah, you kind of need to sweep away or swat away. It's almost like a bug, the confusion, or there's such a strong influence here of media and spectacle and hearsay and chitter chatter, people talking behind people's back, but there's confusion about what's true here. You seem to be the one communicating that. And I think some of you are concerned too about your reputation is on the line. And I do sort of see that a little bit, but I think I get this in Libra's readings all the time. Ultimately, it really isn't about pleasing other people. If you've said your truth and you've spoken your piece and that's all you can do. You can't control what other people think or do or say. So some of you are going to feel like an opportunity is closing out where you don't feel like the best of yourself was able to shine through. But I will say for most of you, it's no fault of your own. Of course, there might be a few of you who participated in kind of like a nasty back and forth argument. I don't see that being the case for a lot of you. But if that's the case, I'm sort of getting the idea of you may have stirred the pot and you know, started up sort of some hype or some shit or however you want to say it. A little bit of like, I always get this in my Libra readings. I don't know why. Like, I'm trying to use a different word other than like kind of like mean girl energy, like talking behind people's back and backstabbing, but acting all polite and charming in front of them. Some of you got found out. Some of you got caught because there was a sense of immaturity about what was going on. And it's like, you know, you made your bed, now you have to lay in it. Others of you, that might be what's going on around you, but it might not directly impact you. It would be more of like an external, you know, coworker or a friend or a family member. Some of you feel like you're at a point where you're trying to explain yourself or explain your point of view or justify your actions and people just aren't hearing it. They're very guarded or they're in defense of their own beliefs and moral system or their own ethics. And so you don't have this power of persuasion that I think maybe some of you are used to having. And so I'm almost getting, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Something here ends in a way that you lost control over. It's like this beast or this monster that got out of control and there's no taming it. It's like the cat's out of the bag. And so almost like Pandora's box, there's too much commentary on what's going on and what's happening, and not enough importance is being placed on getting down to the bottom of it and like, well, what actually happened? Almost like in the courtroom, like there's so much speculation and so many theories and so many articles. It's like, I don't even know what to believe anymore. And you're like, but I know the truth. This is what really happened. And it feels like you're being silenced. It feels like you're not being heard. And in this very specific scenario, I'm almost wanting to say it might not even be worth your time anymore. It's like, it just seems like an endless battle, like trying to swim out of like a riptide or something. It's like you kind of just have to give into it and hope that the universe kind of, you know, pushes you to shore somewhere else, hoping that this, whatever it was, this conflict or this confusion eventually aligns you to where you're supposed to be, and it will. That's what this is. Like, this is really good, strong energy. I guess I'm just focusing on this because I know some of you are going through it, and I'm just trying to give you a little bit of advice on how to handle it. It's a losing battle here, and it might be a conflict between air signs, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Some of you, again, there's like a parent-child dynamic here. Yeah, it's too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody has an opinion and no one is listening. And I will say too, everyone has a bit of a chip on their shoulder and thinking like, well, my way is the only way, or, you know, my way is the right way. And I will say this, you seem to be thinking that way too. And I'm not saying you're right or wrong. It just, that's the issue here. Everyone thinks they're right. And so, you know, if everyone wants to be the queen bee, who's the worker bee? You don't have anyone doing that. And yeah, there's like a lot of chitter chatter going on behind the scenes and behind people's back, and some people are purposely stirring the pot because they know it's adding confusion to the mix, and it's like there's someone's watching a drama unfold, and you know, it's like, where's my popcorn? Like, I'm here for it. Like there's a lot of, it's that energy. It just feels very social climbing, very cliquey, very high school. And I mean, I know that might not translate directly, but it's like a metaphor. Groups of people who they're just not vibing together. So here's the ultimate thing. You seem to be trying to understand from a different perspective what the point or the purpose of all this unfolding is. Some of you may be willing to be the bigger person and take one for the team, possibly yet again, and really try and see it from someone else's perspective. That might be why the Hangman is coming in. Again, also a card of Pisces, Neptunian, confusion. People have been, you know, turned upside down trying to figure out what's going on. I keep getting words like evidence. Like there's like weird stuff going on, and I don't know if there's like legal repercussions or what. Maybe some of you literally are like, you know, in the courtroom. But anyway, I also see you trying to make a positive out of a fairly negative situation, knowing that this is like the cocoon and like you're going to emerge into something else. But I think you're just about ready to cut the cord and leave. And for most of you, I see that probably being a good decision, because I don't think this seems so unfair. Like, I hear some of you guys saying it and I don't disagree. It feels like for some of you, your reputation has been tarnished. And there might not be any getting it back to what it used to be, even if you were in the right, even if you did the right thing and told the truth. It was just, there was some major miscommunication, and you more or less got sort of swept away in it, not because you wanted to. It just, I don't know, it's almost like a domino effect. Like, you tried to fix it and then it almost made it worse. You have to trust your gut instinct and your intuition. Sometimes silence is the best choice, and it's not at all to avoid. These two cards together can be a strong avoidance. I see this as walking away with your head held high, because you don't, at this point, I don't think you owe anybody any further explanation. I think you spoke your truth, and ultimately you have to leave it up to the divine. You have to have faith that eventually people may change their minds about you and what actually transpired. But yeah, walking away with your head held high, with a little bit of tact, diplomacy, or what is a good word for it? Like, I spoke my truth and that's all I can do, and that's it. You're just going to leave it at that. I think that's what most of you are going to have to do or choose to do. Because again, I see this as a losing battle. You can speak your truth and preach your side of the story till you're blue in the face, but you're dealing with people who just won't hear it. This might not literally be political. For some of you, maybe it is. But it's almost like that idea of, work, it's so political. This person's just saying that to get ahead. And even, cliche things like, they slept with the boss or whatever. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Yeah, I got to be honest, Libra, I think you're going to get the F out of there. I do. And I think you will find positive things outside of this group, this environment, this place. Maybe it's not leaving a job or a work thing entirely. For some of you, it's just resigning from that role or that team, or being put on a new project, or you know what I mean? There's a shift in who you're working with. Some of you are like, I need to work for myself. I can't work. I can't work with this management. So yeah, as my phone is like, da-ding. Yeah, look at you. You keeping your chill and your cool and not letting this person ruffle your feathers any more than they already have. Because I do see some of you just like, again, opposed by that sort of Aries energy of feeling really enraged and aggravated, and it's not fair, and it feels like a punishment that you didn't see coming. Although really, I mean, I sort of take that back, because it was leading up to this all along. You had your doubts, you had your suspicions, but it seems to reach like a final explosion here where you choose to not build. You start to think outside the box of, okay, well, I want to take my skills and my talents, but I don't want to give it to these people or this team or, people who take me for granted or throw me under the bus. You're taking this brick, this skill, this talent, this whatever you have, and you're using your passion to channel it into something else at a distance from these people, or quite literally in a new space, in a new territory. I see that being wildly successful for you. You're moving into a 10 of Pentacles, where money starts coming in. And this whole scenario may be impacting a lot of areas of your life in a negative capacity. Yeah, there's not a lot of Pentacle cards here. You do have like the teamwork card. But again, I see this as lousy team building. I see this as people being difficult participants. And again, too many cooks in the kitchen is what I see that as. The thing is, you seem to have a good idea, or you seem to have the passion where you're able to put in the extra effort to get it to succeed in the way you want, but you got to trim the fat. Whatever this is, I very much see this as, well, you win some, you lose some. And unfortunately, you lost some here, but you didn't lose all of it, because we still have you. You're still standing. You still have you, and whatever it is that you bring, you are the full package. You can do it yourself. You might be timid to do it yourself, but I think that's a major lesson and a major growing point for you, is sometimes relying on other people actually burns you. Sometimes there is internal balance. I don't know. Sometimes there is justice, or it is justified to to rely on yourself and count on yourself when you have something that is so precious and it means the world to you. Sometimes it gets messy the more people you incorporate. So I see this as a very strong separating energy where you venture off to do something on your own and it becomes wildly successful. And I'm obviously, again, general messages. Typically with Pentacles, I'm like, oh, it's a slow build. I actually see this as you seeing much more success with this rapidly. And I can't put like a time span on it, but sometimes I see Earth and Pentacle energy. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a slow process. I think just separating yourself from this, you start to see the growth very, very quickly. Swift, rapid action. But are you willing to branch off and try it on your own? Or try it in a new space, in a new location? You have to change up the environment and the energy surrounding this. It's whatever it is, this precious little seed, you know, this baby, your creative project, your whatever. It's like suffocated. It's like dying. Again, it's in the dark. It needs light. This thing wants so badly to grow, but it's like you have to save it from the soil that is toxic. That's a really, really good metaphor for what's going on. And when you put it in fresh air, fresh land, fresh water, right? When you dedicate yourself to this, you know, commitment, this passion project, it doubles, it triples, it gets bigger and better. Now there's more work now, there's more responsibility, but I mean, it's something I think you care so much about that you're willing to put in the effort to do it. So anyway, that seemed to be about work, the drama. Let's talk about love. Love and relationships for Libra. And isn't that interesting? It did factor into it, didn't it? Moving away. Saving your little seed, your little blossom from the toxic soil. You have to uproot it. You have to move it somewhere else. And for some of you, that's just talking about like drama in your life. You have to remove energy vampires or distance yourself from people who just, they're not willing to fight for you, or they're not willing to negotiate with you. It's like a strain on your mental energy. Anyway. Let's refocus our energy. All right. Feeling the heat of the candle. Let's get hot, baby. For Libra and love. Libra looking for love, relationships, something with a Leo or an Aquarius. Feel like there's a Leo or an Aquarius who's like demanding your attention. It's like they're trying to get a hold of you. Let's see. What is this? Oh, that's your energy vampire. You may have an Aries or a Taurus or an Aquarius. Ooh, yeah, no, I don't like that energy. They keep trying to come back into your life, and it's just like twist the knife a little deeper. Like, how do I get rid of you? You move. You don't tolerate it anymore. You don't owe this person a text or a phone call back. If they're not adding anything good to your life, sever it off, move away, and don't feel shame or guilt about it. Again, the whole people pleasing, and I just want to make sure everything's okay. I get it, Libra. It's in your nature to not want to ruffle feathers, to make sure there's equilibrium, and don't want to say anything out of step or out of turn. Sometimes you have to. It's Aries season, separating, independent, trailblazing. Aries season is Mars energy. Mars is about sort of the ego, the self, the identity. What do you want? You need to take action on that and let the riffraff go. If people are meant to be in your life, yes, thank you, Spirit, that little ding. If people are meant to be in your life, they will catch up with you. Do not tolerate the bullshit anymore. That's the message there. All right, new message. I'm giving you tough love, Libra. All right, can we get some inspiring, empowering messages for Libra? Some happy ones if they're looking for romance, if they're looking for love. Yes, we can. 7 of Pentacles. You may have an athlete coming into your life. Someone who's very fun, very active, very playful. Sagittarius, Aries possibly. Capricorn, Virgo, I see. 3 of Pentacles. And they might already be in your friends group, or you may meet this person through a mutual friend, especially a college friend. Or there's a connection to a friend you made in college. It might be that you guys met in college, but there's... And obviously, I know not all of you went to college. That's a very specific message. But there's some connection to not early education. To me, that's like elementary school. But do you understand what I mean? Higher education, I guess. Maybe high school. Maybe. Someone who probably played for the soccer team when they were younger. Virgo. I'm getting strong Virgo energy here. You may have someone in your life trying to play Cupid. Again, a good friend of yours, it's like they know someone who knows someone. And they're like, well, I could get their number. Do you want me? And I don't know. Here's the thing. I almost called you Virgo. Sorry, Libra. It seems like you want to make the connection, but you're shy, or you're afraid that if you don't like this person, it's going to make an awkward dynamic in the friends group. I would give this a shot. This looks really cute. This almost feels like the hand of fate or destiny trying to take the wheel, and you're resisting it. You're like, nope, I'm just gonna stay on the highway. It's fine. I know it's safe. And the universe is like, take the dirt road. There might be something interesting down there. Aw, yeah, you have someone looking out for you. There's some very important piece of advice or guidance that a strong feminine energy in your life gave to you, specifically regarding love. And it's some little saying or some little quote or just sort of like a motivator, like a power quote that you repeat to yourself, or you may have written it on a piece of paper, or it's just something you hold in your heart and you repeat to yourself a lot. I don't know why that's coming through. Again, it could be from that's very important, you guys. That could be from a Leo, or again, someone who has very strong maternal energy. It could be a big sister or a cousin or something. And it almost has something to do with the type of love you deserve versus not settling or keeping a higher perspective that the universe is guiding you in love and that you're not doing it alone. And, when you meet the right connection, it'll make sense. Like do you know what I mean? There's some little lyric or poetry or something that it's like, it's very near and dear to your heart. You have an opportunity for love coming through that could really surprise you, as long as you don't self-sabotage, as long as you don't run from it. And I don't know if it stems from self-worth issues or, hold on, trust issues. Some of you are just incredibly private, but to a point where you isolate yourself and you don't take enough chances and risks in love. Especially if you have strong placements in Scorpio. If you're cuspy with Scorpio, your life is like this private little dark space that no one is allowed to talk about or know about. But the thing is, any seed needs sunlight to grow. Sometimes you do have to put it out there. And some of you, I see you having this like long time crush / borderline obsession. You have no reason to not express your truth to this person. I'm going to tell you this anyways. Try not to engage in third-party stuff, especially if you know this person's already married. A lot of you, I do see you still holding on to that in your heart. But again, what does that say about you? By allowing yourself to be second banana, what would that maternal energy say to you? Or what would you tell your daughter? That's a male or female. If your daughter was in the same position you were in, with holding on to this, this love of her lifetime, but this person, male or female, has already moved on, they're married, would you tell her to hold on to it, to keep hanging in there, because someday he'll choose you, someday he'll change his mind? That seems like, again, setting someone up for a lot of misery. And life is funny. Energy changes. I'm not here to say that could never, ever, ever, ever happen. But in the meantime, what is that showing you and the universe, or again, your family, your daughter, people who are inspired by you, that you're willing to just wait around? Because, do you know what I mean? Like, it really devalues yourself. It doesn't uphold any sort of self-respect. So if you're not pining after a married person, cool, right? I get it. I'm not trying to be unsympathetic or insensitive. I just feel like because the third party is coming off as the one who's, quite literally dangerous liaisons, it's like, I would back off from that. Because it feels like you're keeping your heart trapped in a cage. It feels like there's never going to be resolution to this conflict, because whoever this is, they seem blissful. They seem real damn happy to me. And so if this isn't you, you have to remember it's showing up in your tarot reading. So this could be you at some point, but I think you have to expand outside of what I am going to use the word obsession with someone who's already taken. Others of you are single, and that's not you. Okay, cool. Let's talk about that a little bit more. I see a Leo really wanting to connect with you. I see a Sagittarius coming back to apologize, but you questioning if you should take them back or if they are simply telling you what you want to hear. I do see tearful apologies because someone messed up and they know it. I don't think it was infidelity or cheating. I think there was maybe flirting with someone else. And it might not have even been desired. I think there could have been, again, a miscommunication or, somebody texted your boo and you're like, who the F is this? And they're like, oh, it's just a coworker. Like it's that type of like, don't play the fool, right? If you're suspicious, you have every right to have a healthy conversation about it. But I also think you might be demonizing your person a little bit harshly for something that they may not have orchestrated. It may have been something that fell into their lap. And I just keep getting the idea of someone kind of flirting with your person and you being like, are you kidding me? Like it sets you all fiery and whatnot. Yeah, no, for most of you, if any of that makes sense, it's like this person has eyes for you. They're into it. They think about you all the time when they're not with you. And I do think that includes your Sagittarius or your Aries. There's something about fear with the Leo. The thing is, I think the Leo's really into you, but you seem to, again, I don't know if there's trust issues there or some of you worry about their sobriety, and so you're not sure you want to commit yourself to someone who still has some personal healing to do. And again, totally valid. I totally get that. Yeah, you have a decision to make with the Leo, and I feel like it's a really difficult one. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's yes or no. I see you spending hours and hours and days upon end thinking about what to do because it's not a clear-cut decision. I don't know if there is a right or wrong answer. Well, there isn't, right, guys? In life, it's just a series of actions and reactions. Some of you have a loved one going off to join the military, something about the armed service or something where it could even be someone like a cop or a firefighter where there's a sense of duty and responsibility, but there's a sense of fear of like, okay, well, come back to me safe, like, come home at night. And like, there's a sense of feeling worried, sick about your person going off to do their thing. And this could also have to do with a parent-child dynamic. You may have a mother who's very worried to let you go off and do something. And I don't know why, but I do think the mother has fairly sound guidance here, particularly if your mother is a Leo or a Cancer. Yeah, again, important decisions to make here. I know I said I was trying to do single and looking. So I see some of my Libras reconnecting with, I don't want to put age limits on this, but just to give you kind of an idea of what I'm getting here. I see you connecting with someone like 20 years later that maybe you had a fling with, or you used almost like grade school or junior high, like, oh, like we went out one time. Life is funny. I see you reconnecting with, especially an Aries, but it doesn't have to be, but like 15 to 20 years later, or it could have just been someone you knew casually through friends. It could have been, again, someone you went to school with but never dated or never hung out with. An Aries from your past comes back into your life. Some of you did have a brief romance, and I think this person regrets not treating you better. That could also be a Taurus or a fire sign. And there's some sort of moment of truth. Someone comes forward with some conversation, and it may have involved, someone here may have been in trouble with the law at some point, or they have to like pay something back. They got themselves into a little bit of trouble, and they're sort of confessing it all to you because they're trying to make good on their promise. And I think they see you as someone who really is inspiring to them. You're like a good cheerleader for them, and they really look up to you as like a mentor, even if it is sort of a romantic thing or could be. It's like you help keep this person honest. You seem to have reservations about immediately accepting them back into your life. Again, I have, the more I look at this, I do see themes of third party stuff. This has come up in a couple readings where someone, it's like they're keeping you warm. It's like someday I'm going to leave my wife or someday I'm going to leave my husband, but and they're communicating this to you, but then ultimately you're left just kind of waiting because they don't actually move forward with the, and I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not unique to Libra. A lot of people have this message coming up right now, and maybe because it's Aries season, which is opposed by, Libra energy, Venus energy, coupling, relating, possibly romance. There's this idea of, but it's just me. It's very isolating. There's like this solitude where I'm waiting for this couple to break up, but they're not. It feels like you're keeping yourself trapped. And I mean, you might be in the couple that is quote unquote committed with someone else just waiting and waiting and waiting on you. For some reason, that really struck a chord with me. Would you want your own child in this scenario? Probably not. It's complicated. There's a lot of feelings involved, right? And you can't save your child from experiencing those things, but I think you can act as a positive role model on what is best to do. That respects yourself, that maintains your integrity and self-respect. Yeah, someone's going to liberate themselves from being kept in a box or kept in the corner. The kept at a distance, but kept warm, like the back burner one. It's like, I want to see you, but I can't because I'm trapped in a marriage, but I love you and I'm so conflicted. And what do I do? The Hangman in reverse to me is like being set free. You're not in the state of contemplation or worry or, again, trying to understand their perspective or trying to find your way out of it. There's just like this, and I'm off. I'm free. I'm liberated. Can't do that anymore. I know this is not a common storyline, but some of you, I do see someone getting out of jail or prison, or it can even be like, I don't know if it's like juvenile hall or whatever. Someone who had repercussions with the law. They seem to have done their time or paid their dues or whatever, and they might be coming back to you. Again, I don't see a lot of energy of just, oh my God, I'm welcoming you with open arms and life is bliss and perfect. There's a little bit of debate, like an internal struggle that's going on with, I want to do this, but is it the right decision? And very in your head about what to do. With multiple people, you have several storylines where it's not clean cut. It's messy. And you know what? That's life. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to listen to your gut and follow your heart. I would really encourage you to kind of go by the motto or the credo, like, don't tell me your plan, show me your results, right? If someone's coming back and I'm going to treat you better, baby, and blah, 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 prove it. How are you going to do this? Because you are very easily convinced when you're kind of in the throes of love, when you're feeling that just sort of, that passionate, that chemistry. Sometimes they tell you what you want to hear and you've been susceptible to that in the past. I see you learning the lessons. I see you making progress there. But again, make sure this person is showing up in the right way, come correct. Some of you are just struggling with like a mother-in-law who's just really cold, really judgy. I hate to say it, but they might be a Libra too, or possibly an Aquarius. Or a Gemini. I'm getting air energy that's very critical, very judgy. And it could be a father-in-law too, but it's more feminine. Especially for my same-sex couples out there, you might be dealing with an in-law or a parent who still, it's like, try as they might to accept their son or daughter with their whole heart. It's like they're somehow justifying, well, I accept my daughter and my son's life choices and their sexual preference, but I'm very skeptical about their partner. It's like they're almost projecting their insecurities onto the partner of their child. I know it's an unusual message, but that's what I'm getting. Yeah, it's like it's. Do you enjoy the torture? That's what I'm getting from this. Following around the person who's already married or spying on social media, it's like injecting yourself with toxins, with poison. But you're almost addicted to it. It's like you keep coming back for the hit because you just need to see them. I feel for you, Libra, but like you have the power to end this situation because your person is not going to do that. They're not going to step it up and be like, that's it, I'm leaving my wife, or, that's it, we're getting divorced, or that's it, I choose you. It's not happening in these cards right now. And I can only be so sensitive because at a certain point I have to be like, get your head in the game. This is your life. If you're spending years waiting on someone who's already taken, like, what? You got some wounds to heal on your own. But you are an active participant in this. Some of you have a child who's coming out, and you should embrace them. You should allow them, or you should celebrate and respect the fact that they felt comfortable expressing this to you. It may have been a long time coming. It could have been something that they were keeping hidden for a long time. But they finally feel free and they're happy. And that in itself is quite symbolic of what's going to happen to you too. You're seeing it in different avenues and areas in your life. The theme of freedom right now, freedom and separation. Other people in your life are demonstrating exactly what you need to do. And by hearing it and seeing it and observing it, I'm thinking the universe is hoping that you sort of start to channel that independent energy or that strength and tenacity and do something that is in your best interest, and not look back. To be very future focused and future oriented and optimistic about starting a new chapter and a new cycle. I do see someone from your past coming back who's genuinely a good person. It's not to say they don't have their flaws. If anything, they may have had an issue with sobriety at one point in time, that perhaps they got some sort of like DUI or something. And again, possibly ages ago. I see someone really turning their life around, and they've been thinking about you. They've been waiting for you for a while. But they decide to make the brave step to come forward and see if there's anything left in terms of like a spark or a connection between you guys. It's kind of romantic. And I'm not at all romanticizing the idea of addiction by any means. Please don't misunderstand that. It's like this person got better. They did it for themselves, but they also knew that they didn't stand a chance with you if they couldn't get their shit together. And so I will say that was sort of one of their motivating factors. And of course, you don't owe this person anything. You know, they can profess their feelings and you can say no. But I actually think they're going to give you a lot to think about. And this may be a game changer in allowing yourself, granting yourself permission to set yourself free from something that was holding you back in your love life. It's a great catalyst. It's a great initiator. Aries season, right? It might literally be an Aries, possibly a Scorpio. All right, beautiful Libras. That's what I got for you this month. Please remember to like my channel, subscribe if you haven't already, or like the video, subscribe to my channel. If you want to book a personal reading, you can do so. Check out the dialogue box below. It'll tell you all about that. Other than that, thanks for joining me today. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.